Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of New to Weeaboo. This is number 30 for September 23rd, 2020, and I am Nemesis, and I'm joined by Alcatraz.
Hello.
Yes, in the world of anime, I can't remember anything off the top of my head, I guess. Yeah, other than I've been kind of getting to the hellhole that is VTubers, and that's not good.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
A lot of people. That's been one of those really big things that's been happening lately.
Oh yes.
I've seen VTubers get really big.
Especially since they just launched HoloLive English.
Ah yes, the shark.
Yeah,
that's all I know about HoloLive.
There's also the detective girl.
Okay. All I know about the shark is about the shark girl, and
yep.
That's perfectly fine for me. we
Yep.
could just end it there.
Now it's even easier to get into VTubers. Now you don't have to wait for someone to translate it for you. Here they are speaking in English. That's alarming. Yep. Yeah, that's definitely still a thing.
I'm wondering how long it's gonna last though, because sometimes it's just a quick fad that kind of dies off somewhat. It settles, and sometimes it just stays big.
It's kind of become a big thing, and probably going to stay a big thing for a while. I remember this all started off with Zuna Ai, as far as I remember.
This is as far as I know as well.
But now there's dozens of them.
Mm-hmm. Dozens of us.
Yep. But anyway, we're not here to talk about VTubers. We're actually here to talk about something else entirely. Well, I said it last week. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
We finally did it.
We're finally talking about this one. I believe this is actually our first Kyoto Animation anime that we're covering.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh. Imagine that.
This actually aired back in the winter 2017 season, so it's a couple years old now.
Yeah, it's a little bit old.
But the big thing about this is it's basically the girl Kobayashi who eventually meets a dragon named Toru who becomes her maid because the dragon fell in love with her, and that's the setup.
Yep. That's
yeah, and it's kind of an odd one to talk about. I said last week or last time it was a lot to unpack, and I think that still holds up after rewatching it. that
there's a lot going on. It's a slice of life.
Yeah, slice of life.
It really is a slice of life anime. So it's not like there's one big overarching plot that everything is based around. So you can't just like summarize it like this is the story. It's a lot different than that. I guess just start with like the first line of notes I have. I want to say at some point it's used, not all the time, like an introspection into humanity.
At times.
It not always. In fact, I wouldn't even say most of the time. But when it does it in a pretty focused and serious way. It's like, oh, okay. And then it goes back to being, your standard slice of life for most of the time.
Yeah.
But it is definitely interesting.
Yeah, and the other thing is about this is it was recently announced that you probably heard that second season is coming in 2021.
I have heard that, yes.
Yeah, I'm a little worried because of what I've heard about the manga it's based off, but
The
weird thing about this one is a large chunk of it is actually, I would dare say, wholesome.
Yeah.
A large chunk of it.
I would say.
90% of it. But then that last 10%.
That last 10%
can get goes so deep into creepy anime stuff that,
Yep.
It goes in hard sometimes.
Do you want to just get that part out of the way?
No. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, we'll get into that stuff later. But yeah, like I said, it's about a programmer girl. Kobayashi is a programmer. That's her thing.
Programmer. Python.
Yeah.
She codes in Python.
Yeah, so she's a programmer, and she has an office job and everything. And the thing is, she also has a thing for maids, as we find out.
That's a key point in Kobayashi's
and the whole thing, she gets really drunk one night and runs into a dragon in the forest, and they apparently gets to know her and invites her back to her place, and the dragon shows up the next day. Toru.
Yep.
Who is now claims to be in love with Kobayashi, and Yep, is willing to be her dragon maid, and everything transforms because open the door and there's a giant dragon face staring at you. I mean, a little scary there.
A little bit, just a little.
But then she can transform into a dragon or maid, and it's and she does that. She devotes her life to Kobayashi.
Yep.
And Toru is pretty obsessed with her. Keeps trying to get Kobayashi to, I guess, reciprocate.
Yeah.
Including the trying to get her to eat her tail because apparently it's sweet and creamy, and she even removed all the poison.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's a running gag throughout the show, is the eating of the tail.
Mm-hmm.
She never succeeds.
Never succeeds. Never.
Gives a whole new meaning to the phrase "getting some tail."
Yeah. Oh. And the other thing, she tries to feed it to her. Kobayashi says no, and then she just eats it herself and grows it back. It's like, oh, okay, sure.
All right.
Yeah. Kobayashi has a drinking buddy, co-worker named Makoto Takeya, and he also likes maids. He's very much, you can see he's an otaku. Once you see his place, it's like, yep, there's a bunch of waifu posters all over the place and whatnot. So, yep, otaku.
Yep. Well, he even says he's an otaku.
Yep.
He introduces himself as that. Oh, I'm an otaku.
Anyway, they drink and talk about maids, and then you got Toru complaining that Kobayashi complaining that Toru's costume is all wrong, and what are you trying to do? All this stuff. Because Kobayashi becomes very belligerent when drunk.
Yes. Yes. That's actually another point. There are a lot of notes that have been made during the watching of this anime. Lots of little things and lots of things that are a little bit more than little. It's definitely an interesting show. It's not one of those where everything's summed up pretty well in a few lines here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Not always a good thing, but I think mostly it is a good thing when there's lots of things to talk about. Yeah, like you mentioned Kobayashi. I guess we can talk about that. Kobayashi is an interesting character. She's quite reserved.
Oh, yeah.
She is a very reserved, mellow person. She's a bit of an introvert as well.
She has a hard time socializing.
Yeah, it's yeah, just a little bit of an introvert. And yeah, like I said, she has trouble with human interaction. But she's also really nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes to a fault. Like, she can't say no to helping people.
Yeah.
So everyone really likes her because she's super helpful, but sometimes it does come at a cost of her own work.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, she's super reserved, but she does have a deeper personality.
Mm-hmm.
There's more to her, but you don't see that a lot. And I think that's one thing throughout this entire show is the more time she spends with Toru, the more of that personality is brought forth.
Yeah.
It's like she starts to be getting more comfortable with it. Toru helps her bring it out in a way. Until she gets drunk, in which then it all comes out at once.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's one of the... It is an interesting point, and one that is rather reflective. I find myself represented, I guess, in that a lot. At least I feel I am.
Gee, I wonder why you got latched onto the introverted programmer character.
the introverted programmer character who has trouble with stuff. Yeah, that's it's like, wow, that's like me.
Why are you me?
Also, she has red hair, so that helps too. I really like Kobayashi as a character.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah, that was one bit I noticed. Yeah, like she, Toru starts going shopping and stuff for Kobayashi and whatnot, and then Kobayashi goes with her once and finds out everyone loves her and super sociable, and she's kind of a little irritated that Toru picked up socializing with humans a lot faster than she did. It's like, that's not fair.
That's not
She's
fair.
been here for like a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, that had a great scene in it too, the shopping district.
Yep.
When the robber steals the purse.
Oh, yep.
When we first see some of Toru's capabilities, that lunge was just freaking amazing.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. That's the other thing is the dragons are very powerful, have all sorts of powers and whatnot, including stuff you wouldn't guess. Like Toru can just, her saliva can remove stains. Okay, useful.
That
yes,
I think
but
that one's I think played up as more of a joke than that's a joke power. But yeah,
still, it's like,
yeah.
Or she can make something so clean that everything's gone.
Well, that's just like she
back.
can make things appear and disappear.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, just that whole thing with the robber just tone it down. Okay. Boom.
Yeah. That was a cool, it's like, sees it and Toru looks over. May I? Yes, but don't do anything that'll get you noticed.
Yeah.
And then she does that, and they get noticed, and she freaks out, like, oh no.
Did I screw up?
No, what are they gonna do?
Did I screw up?
Because everyone's looking at her. Yeah.
And everyone's like, whoa, yeah, you're awesome.
And then it worked out in the end.
Yeah, I also just like when she did this, launches herself up in the air, does this big old spin and punch the guy into the ground, all while smiling.
Yep. It was so anime, because, she does that lunge, she does that, like, prep to lunge, and the ground cracks underneath her, then she lunges forward, and then just kind of hovers in midair, hi, and then does the spin and punch.
Yep.
Yeah. So anime.
Yeah, and then another dragon shows up as well, Kanam Kamui.
Yep, Kana.
Little girl, basically.
Yep, very small.
And she shows up mostly because she kind of looks up to Toru, and she sees Kobayashi as some foul temptress who's corrupted and perverted Toru.
Oh no!
Give her back! Give her back! At first, but then she starts seeing Kobayashi as her mom, as Kobayashi kind of takes her in and everything.
Gee, Kana, why does your mom let you have two moms?
Yeah. And the reason Kana's here is because she got a little exiled because she played a prank and broke something.
Yeah, because apparently Kana's, I guess, parents are super powerful.
One of them.
Super important, but, and that actually came up later. Kana, a little bit of backstory, and like why Kana gets attached to Kobayashi. Apparently, Kana's parents just kind of left her be.
Let her do what she wants.
Like it because the whole idea is you have to learn to grow strong by yourself.
Yep.
Was apparently, but that's not what Kana wanted. Kana wanted people, be your parents.
Mm-hmm.
So she kept acting out as pranks, and finally, I guess it just went too far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she sees Kobayashi as a mom, but Kobayashi's a little about that because I'm not that old, am I?
I'm not that old.
No, I'm not old. I'm not old.
No.
Yeah. She's also apparently Kana there is she's like an electric dragon. She can plug into an outlet with her tail.
Her tail just kind of plugs into an outlet, and that's how she recharges.
Yeah. The other thing about dragons we find out is it's like most other dragons in most fantasy, which is dragons are very proud.
Dragons are a very proud species.
And look down at every other species, because we see the pitiful humans and whatnot.
Pitiful humans.
Except for you, Kobayashi. Yeah. No, not you. You're different.
Except for you. You're different.
Wow. That sounds a little...
Speciesist.
A little bit. Just a little bit. Speciesists.
Not you, Kobayashi. You're one of the good ones.
Exactly. You're the only good one. Yeah. And eventually other dragons show up. Fafnir. Oh, that's one.
Oh, God,
Toru
Fafnir.
calls Fafnir for advice a couple times. His advice: kill them.
Just kill them.
But Fafnir gets attached to Takia. Very attached.
Over video games at first.
Yep, Dark Souls.
Specifically Dark Souls.
It's Dark Souls.
It's just straight up Dark Souls.
Why do you keep going for the chest? It's in my nature. You can't help it. He's a dragon. Even if he's warned, it's a trap. Nope, opens it anyway.
Yep. But yeah, those two kind of become attached.
Yep.
Although Fafkun won't admit to it. So yeah, Takina and Fafnir, basically both Takia, both are otakus essentially,
yep.
in their own ways, except Fafnir is so just starts going soon.
Full tsundere.
It's full tsundere. Even Takia mentions that.
Yep. There's also
They're totally
Fafnir had a bit of
totally ship those two.
Yeah. Oh yeah, everyone does. Everyone watches this.
Totally.
There was the other bit where it was like Fafnir had a bit of monologue about how humans are just, hits and hit or miss, and like there's just so many misses, just not, and to find a hit it takes way too much time, so it's just not worth the effort. But he's like, just like whatever. And then Takia shows up to give him talking to him, and is like, "You're a hit, Takia, huh?
You're a hit."
It's like, aw.
Aww.
Oh, he does care.
He does. He does have a heart.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always in a suit, long hair, one eye covered, all this stuff.
Always like super edgy.
Yep.
Always looks angry.
Tried to go to Comic-Con and present his dojin of curses twice.
It's just an anthology of curses. Actual curses that could do so it's probably a good thing no one bought any.
Yeah, imagine if one of those nerds bought it and then got rejected by a girl. Oh boy.
Oh no.
Incels with that sort of power should not be a thing.
Yeah, no.
That's really would be bad for everyone. That's not.
Yep.
All right, next dragon though. Oh boy, this is the big one. Lukoa. In many senses of the word, when I say big. Lukoa.
That's literally my first line.
Big.
Because it's tits.
Yeah, she's got gag boobs.
That's her, and that's her entire personality basically summed up. Sort of. There is a little bit more to her.
Yeah.
Apparently she's an ex-god.
Yep. Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah, Quetzalcoatl. That's who she is.
Yeah. Until something happened where she got drunk, and then her sister. Then we always get cut off, but
always get cut off.
But your imagination is supposed to fill in the rest of the.
She got drunk, and something happened with her sister, and she got kicked out of godhood.
Yeah, whatever happened, it was bad.
Yeah, even when Lukoa herself doesn't want to talk about it, considering everything else she's perfectly fine with. Apparently, it must be bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Thing is, I don't think it's incest, because have you seen how all those ancient gods act around each other? That's not enough to get you kicked out of godhood. I mean, look at the Greek gods and whatnot. That's just one giant incestuous orgy at times. Let's be real.
Yep. That's literally Greek mythology, is just one giant incest orgy.
But sometimes with goats. Thanks, Zeus.
Thanks, Zeus. That sums up all of Greek mythology. Thanks, Zeus.
No problem. So if that was the full extent of it, was just, oh, hey, she has big boobs that bounce around all over the place, that really honestly would not be the worst thing in the world, because we've seen the same exact thing in many other animes too, even sometimes to a worse degree than her.
Even, and a quick interjection point, even within this anime, the bouncing tits thing is not just Lukoa.
I know. It's also to a degree.
I was surprised Fafnir didn't have bouncing tits.
Well, kind of funny, but...
Oh, it would have been hilarious. But, even, that was one of our first introductions to Maid Toru.
Yeah, just how big it's a D for dragon.
It's a D for dragon. Yeah. And, of course, there's always the boob envy on Kobayashi.
Yep. Kobayashi just gets irritated about it all the time, because, she's even Kobayashi's occasionally mistaken for a boy, because, Yep. Yeah, the thing about Lukoa, okay, so she's
big problem.
One thing I will say positive about her is I like her eye design. That's really cool.
Okay, yeah, her eyes are great.
It's
not
crazy
just a normal
heterochromia thing.
She's got, and it's not just heterochromia.
Yeah, it's also
it's got designs. There's designs in it, different ones in each eye.
So yeah, that's the thing. But the thing is, there's another human character who is there, named Shota Magatsuchi.
Shota.
Shota
change one letter in that, and you have it.
Yeah, Shota is basically translates to little boy, more or less, because, that's not lazy or anything. Unfortunately, she gets herself into a lot of sexual situations with the little boy.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Before you get into this, I want to tell you something right now. This is toned down from the manga.
Oof.
The manga, Kyoto Animation toned down a lot of the worst elements. That's what I've been told anyway. I've not read the manga myself, but that is what I've been told. So apparently it was a lot worse.
If this is toned down, I don't even want to know what the manga is.
But one of the big things they did change it was kind of changing Lukoa's motivation. Because we see what's happened is kind of presents more kind of an innocence to it, like in the sense that she's trying to prove she's not a demon and she's just trying to, I guess, be there for Shota. And yeah, versus I believe in the manga, it's more, there's a little bit more of a, I think it's the idea is supposed to, she's trying to help him grow up or something like that. It's one of those things.
One of those, time to become a man.
Yeah. If I recall, I'm not sure about, so don't quote me on that. This is like secondhand information, but yeah, everything I heard is this is toned down from the manga.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
so
it's a not
Shota. More about Shota, just in general, without the creepy part. Apparently, he's part of a family of mages.
Yes.
And what happened with those two is that he tried doing a summoning ritual.
Yep.
Lukoa detected it and went, this might be interesting, and decided just to pop in on the ritual.
Yeah.
Through the ritual.
And claiming that she was doing so because if he actually did summon demon, that would be really, really bad for him.
Yeah. Imagine if you got an actual demon.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Well, I think one of the worst episodes with those two was episode 8. It was just constant shots between the two.
Oh, yeah. The one where you're sleeping? And
yeah.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, it was just because one of the things the show does is you have like each episode is split into almost like 2 halves-ish.
Kind of, yeah.
One story, but they have like 2 separate, but they have like little interjected bits that are usually like one-off jokes here and there.
Likely adopted from Koma's.
Yeah. And like episode 8 just had a bunch of those. It was just pointless creepiness between those two.
Mm-hmm. Basically him asleep and her next to him, and yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. And it's like, you could remove that entire bit from this show and not have lost anything important.
Yeah, but it's there.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's really, and also another bit is kind of, there's a lot of stuff where it very much does present like she really genuinely doesn't know what she's doing wrong. Like it's presented like that. They go like the beach episode. They even joke about how it's fan service.
Yep.
She's told to cover up because, well, she's inappropriately dressed and everything, and she just seemingly just doesn't get it.
Yep.
Until like a couple, like really late in the anime, she finally starts to understand that maybe I should change how I dress.
Yeah, it's like you probably should have figured that out a little sooner.
Yeah, it's going to come across as just Dragon doesn't understand human customs.
Yep.
Which you can kind of get away with it, but
fine. But the whole thing with the kid.
Yep. It doesn't help. Apparently, the author of the manga apparently has drawn Shotokan art. Fun. Yeah.
Just like that. Just drop a letter. Just call the kid basically what it is.
Well, they're both those would be pronounced the same. It's just a
Shotokan. Yep.
It's it's kind of obvious. So that's what I mean by the 10% of it's kind of, it's mostly from Lukoa. If you remove Lukoa, like most of the problems go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing there. It's just unfortunate. I've noticed with when it comes to the fandom of this show, people I've seen like stuff like, let's just pretend Lukoa doesn't exist, or just write her so she just doesn't appear in this fanfic or whatever it is, right? That's what it is. Or they try to fix it. They try to make it more of a sibling thing between those two. It's like, that works a lot better. And I think they're trying to change it into just little kid trying to make it so stupid older sister who doesn't understand why people are attracted to her, trying to protect her from all that nonsense.
Yeah.
And then other people, I think, the other people they just like Lukoa because they don't really care about anything else. They just like Lukoa because they're horny.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Like, if that's all it was, if there wasn't the whole creepiness between her and the kid, then fine, whatever. You do you. But because of that creepiness, it's just...
Yep. It's unfortunate. And then there's also Elma, who shows up.
Lady Elma.
Elma, who's she's apparently part of a different faction because dragons are not all united. There's a bunch of factions, and Toru's part of the Chaos faction, and you got Elma, who's part of the Order faction.
Yep.
And they comes there to drag Toru back, but apparently she can't get back on her own because she had to follow Toru through a portal she opened.
Yeah, because apparently Elma does not have the ability to create portals. She's super powerful, but she cannot open portals.
Yep. And also Toru tricks her a couple times.
Oh, I love that trick. We're gonna fight. Okay, well we can't do it here. We have to do it somewhere else. So she opens up a portal.
Yep.
So they can go into an empty area to fight. So Lady Elma goes through the portal and it's just closed. I kind of feel bad because I actually did that to a kid once.
Oh.
They were just blabbing at me because this kid would just talk and talk and talk and never shut up. So they were just following me talking, and I wasn't responding. And I just walked over to a set of doors, opened the door, and just held it open so that he could walk through. He walked through, and I just let go of the door and just stood there looking at him as the door closed. Door closed, I turned around and walked away.
Wow.
I feel kind of bad, but it's also kind of funny.
Yeah, but so Elma, she gets stuck in the world. She winds up getting an office job at the same place Kobayashi works, and she also really likes eating.
Yes,
she loves eating.
Lady Elma is an interesting character. She's, I guess, kind-hearted, but also really naive and gullible.
Yep.
Very easily influenced. But she suddenly discovers the wonders of the human world, primarily involving food.
Of course.
She really likes food.
Yeah.
And all the choices.
So many choices.
So many choices, so little time.
That's the other thing. So she gets kind of stuck there. And that is weird. Her outfits are like, you know, you can wear that jacket. That's not how you... okay.
Yeah. Yeah, her outfits are a bit interesting.
That's not how you... you don't wear it that... yeah, okay. I'm just not going to bother.
All right. All right.
So she mostly is there just, again, mostly be kind of a gag, again. Those little short gags here and there. She occasionally pops into the main plot line, but yeah, she's mostly there to be a gag. At least in this season. I'm not sure how much more she's going to show up in the second season.
Yeah, I don't know. It would definitely be interesting.
Yeah, she says there's not a whole lot to talk about for her, honestly.
For Elma, yeah.
The other thing is, most of the dragons typically have their horns like showing and whatnot when they're human.
Yeah. That's an interesting one. Elma gets rid of hers
when she's at work. Kana gets rid of her horns and tail when she's at school. Yep. Toru and Lukoa never bother. And Fafnir, well, he didn't seem to have any horns, so okay.
Yeah.
He could probably just glare at someone and they'll go leave him alone anyway. So
just has that aura of don't bother. Just don't bother him.
Yeah. Yeah, there's also one other character who's important to Kana. Riko Saikawa. She's a classmate of Kana, and at first she's very much the get out of my school thing, and then Kana starts crying, and well, that's it.
Get out of my school.
Poor little gay Riko. This is the second gay Riko that's appeared on this podcast. But yeah, she just becomes enamored with Kana.
Yeah, basically, sometimes to a bit of a creepy extent.
One episode in particular, but yeah. But yes, her whole thing is basically like Kana just holds her hand or brushes up against her, she just loses it right there. Yep. She practically passes out.
Any sort of contact, she just, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a bit, all right.
She's really gay for Kana.
Quite.
But yeah, of course, can't actually say it out loud because that's just too easy.
Yep.
But yeah, there's that one episode I think 4, the one where Kana goes to her house.
I want to say there was one in episode 6. I have episode 6 noted particularly too. I'm trying to remember why
6 was, but yeah, there's also the episode Georgie was introduced. That was Riko's older sister who also likes to be a maid.
Yes.
Which her and Kobayashi nerd out with each other and trap Toru with them. Help me!
That was hilarious.
Yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, that episode, the unfortunate thing there is there's the bit where Kana winds up on top of Riko and it's like,
Yep.
Oh,
I
that is
want to say
episode
that
6.
may
That
have been
was.
episode 6.
That,
Yeah, I want to say that was episode
yeah,
6.
4 sewer. Yeah, 6. That was 4. 6 was there. So, yeah, that was a little sketchy.
Yeah, that I think they took it a bit too
Again,
far.
toned down a bit, because apparently in the manga, Kana straight up says she wants to bang Rico.
Yeah, they started to in the anime.
Yeah.
But they never actually finished that sentence.
Yeah. Again, toned down.
Yeah.
That's that weird thing, because like people go, "Oh, Kana's like 1,000-year-old dragon." Not really. That's not the trope they're invoking, really. Because even though they confirm she is older than any living human, she's still a child by dragon standards. She presents and acts like a child.
Yeah.
No weird. So that's also where a lot of ravioli don't lewd the loli.
Don't lewd the loli. Yep.
But yeah, that's the one part that kind of like sketchy with those two. Everything else actually tends to be kind of it's kind of cute actually. Like
the face, Saikawa's face gets a little bit creepy at times, but it's pretty mild overall. Yeah, but it's just that one episode, it was took it a bit too far.
Yep. There's also the sports festival, and they had the 3-legged race, and Psycho practically passes out right there.
Yep, because of leg touching. That was actually a really good episode, I think, the sports festival, because it actually showed Kana gaining a certain amount of maturity for a second grader, but or equivalent second
I think they're third grade. Yeah, they're third grade.
Was it? Because
they're class 2 of the third grade.
Okay, that's me.
That's why you probably saw it.
Second. Yeah, probably. Either way, it showed a bit of a lot of character growth and a bit of maturity for her character.
Yeah.
It was actually a really good episode for that.
And also we see Kobayashi, first like, I have to work. I can't go. And then Kobayashi makes the decision, I'm going to work extra hard so I can get that day off.
Mm-hmm. Because that was their release day.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big day for stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's also Shota's, that's what I found. Yeah, Shota's 5th grader.
Yep.
So he's like 10 or 11. So on Rico, and then Connell's she's not 8, but she presents as 8.
Yeah.
That's a whole complicated thing.
I do want to say that Kana is smarter than she lets on.
Yeah.
It may be one of those, she's smarter than she knows she is.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's just like she's purposely hiding her intelligence, but I do feel that she is a lot smarter. Probably the fact that she is older than 8 years old.
Yeah.
So she does have a bit of that, but she also does act a bit smarter socially than in certain cases than other characters.
Yep. She also likes to eat little things.
That's a common meme, is her eating things. Oh, look at this butterfly.
Chomp.
Look at this grasshopper.
Chomp. Look at this crab. Chomp.
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah,
Kana's
she's also
adorable,
kind of a deadpan delivery in a lot of stuff. She's not deadpan, but a very stoic thing. Whereas Kobayashi is very deadpan. Kana's just very quiet and monotone.
Yep.
So her any emotion she shows on her face is for the most part tends to be very slight.
Yep. Very muted expressions.
I remember actually there's a bit of artwork I saw which kind of like, because it was about Rico and Kana, and it's like dragons age way slower than people do, and kind of it had the bit where it's like they're in still grade school and holding hands and everything, and you got Rico there all happy about it, and then a second picture which is Rico as an adult and Kana still kind of youngish, older but still youngish, and kind of subtitled with the tragedy of their romance. It's like,
Yep. That comes up in another angle later in the episode with Kobayashi and Toru.
Yeah, Toru's
although
out.
It's the more really common trope of, sort of immortality blues, but not technically immortality. Just the huge age difference. This time from the aging difference. But this from the point of they're already adults.
Mm-hmm.
which is super cool. It's not like, yes, you can be in a nice, happy relationship until one of them dies, and you won't be able to grow old with
Toru's
them.
doubt manifesting is like, this won't last forever.
Mhm.
What about when she dies? You will outlive her.
Yep. That was an interesting episode, and an interesting part of that episode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sort of the theory there's nothing to support it, but because we haven't really seen that aspect of her doubt like that anywhere else, I want to say that that was something to do with her father coming through, that may have been somewhat influenced by her father's presence.
Perhaps.
That's what, because it was kind of sort of out of the blue, that level of her doubt, because I think it was only mentioned once, maybe twice before, but never to that extent.
I remember when they mentioned it before, she was very quick to kind of shut it down. Like it's basically the idea is she has been having this doubt for a while. She's been suppressing it super hard, and now it's finally coming out.
Right.
Yeah, the idea.
But we haven't seen that level of manifestation of it. I want to see that. I kind of want to, although like I said, there's no real support for it.
I don't really think.
But I kind of want to say that level of manifestation, because immediately thereafter her dad showed up.
Damocles, the Emperor of Demise.
Yes, because her dad had already entered that world and was searching for her.
He came in and he's like, "You're coming home." And she's like, "Oh, okay." At first, then she goes back and he follows. I told you not to come back here. And then Kobayashi stands up for her and.
And that was a thing.
Yeah.
It was a bit shorter. The whole confrontation between Toru and her dad was a bit shorter than I was originally expecting. I was kind of expecting a big battle scene, which we didn't get, but what we got wasn't bad either.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, okay, we got something different than I was expecting. All right.
Yeah, and then Toru's...
I kind of wanted to see a big battle scene, though.
Toru's dad backs down super hard.
Yep. But it was I don't approve of this, but I'm not going to stop at this now either. Which I guess is better than the alternative.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the other thing was when I remember, when Kana and Toru were roughhousing and Kobayashi freaked out. I thought I told you to keep it down to human level. It's like, that is human level. Because apparently humans in their world are pretty powerful in their own right.
Yeah, apparently the Dragon World, the other world, they don't really give it a name, but the other world seems to follow a fairly standard fantasy trope.
Yep.
You know, medieval-esque time, but full of mages and dragon slayers and magic and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Definitely interesting.
Mm-hmm. And also the dodgeball game.
The dodgeball game.
And they're like, they beat those punks, and then, because of course Rico, big mouth, just would not stop. Rico could not shut up and talk a big game.
Shut up.
And then they, she enlisted their help to beat them back. And then they're like, it wasn't enough. And then they all have dodgeball. Dodgeball game with each other.
Extreme dragon dodgeball.
And because that episode opened up with Kobayashi and Rico just standing over a cratered wasteland of a playground.
Yep.
Like, what just happened? And then we get back to that scene, and then Loco is just like, I can fix this.
Yep, I can fix this. Lying on the ground.
It just gets I can fix it. Oh. The other thing is, this was 13 episodes long initially.
Yep.
And then there's a 14th episode added. Initially, it was just the Blu-ray, and then later Crunchyroll got the rights to it as well. Is the OVA basically. Yep. And the OVA, I feel like is probably overall the worst episode, just because of all the stuff in it, including like Lakoa. She's gonna just coat herself in chocolate for Shota.
Fortunately, it didn't happen.
Yeah, and also it opens up with Toru. Basically, it's a love potion, but it's basically aphrodisiac to try to sneak into Kobayashi's chocolate.
Yep.
And then, whoops, Kobayashi ate it, and
only on accident later.
Yeah, because Kana found it, and then there's that uncomfortable scene. At least Kobayashi had the wherewithal to nope. I'm gonna lock myself in my room and not come out. Because she realized what's going on.
Yeah, there's that one. She realized what was going on. It's like, ooh.
She's like, why is this? Nope, nope, I ain't going to do that. I don't want to do that.
And then Toru shows up.
And it seems like we're going to get a kiss, because, that's one thing Kyoto Animation, I'm going to say this right now, because we're going to see other Kyoto Animation stuff on this eventually. Kyoto Animation is notorious for their Yuri bait. And we see they're about to kill. Nope, you're wrong.
Nope.
What? It's wrong.
Nope.
Hey, I kind of made her. Oh boy. Turns out there's liquor in it. Oh.
Yep, she got drunk, so that part of her personality came out too.
Yep. And then there's the hot spring thing, which, yeah.
That was actually a lot tamer than I expected.
You think it'd be worse. And yeah, actually, heck, the whole thing, the beach episode is actually pretty tame.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hot spring, and the kids got the ping pong and everything. And that's the other thing is, so obviously Toru and Kobayashi kind of have a thing of sorts going on.
Of sorts.
It depends. The basic Kobayashi never seems to totally reciprocate, but a lot of it seems to indicate it seems to be kind of along the lines of she has a hard time expressing her emotions. That's why, but she actually does to a degree.
Yep, and there was one particular. Well, there's a couple particular scenes, but there was the one particular scene in. I'm trying to remember the exacts of it, but things kind of came to a head, and Toru was really upset about something. Like, I put all this effort, and then Kobayashi made that sort of explanation of she struggles with that, but then she does she pats her head, pats Toru's head, take the hint.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I do, I appreciate you, but I have issues expressing this. Please just understand.
Emotions are hard.
Don't make me try any harder.
Yeah, so it's kind of the thing is it's like a lot of Kyoto animation stuff, which is there's just enough ambiguity for you to say no, there's nothing going on.
Oh, there's totally something.
Yeah, there's obviously something going on. I mean, it's part of the Yuri genre.
Yeah. There was another scene. It was after Toru goes back. And before she comes back.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about the omurice.
Yep, that stuff.
There was a particular line
should have told her it was good.
That Kobayashi... Yes, I should have told her the omurice was good. That is totally just an analog for I should have told her I loved her.
Also, that whole bit was the montage of like after Toru's gone and Kana's still there. It's like, Kobayashi, you're depressed. That's what's going on.
You're depressed. You're the person you've come to basically love in some way is missing, and you have a hole in your life and heart now.
Mm-hmm. You're depressed, stupid.
Yes, I should have told her the omurice was good. It is totally an analog. I should have told her I loved her while I had the chance, and now she's gone. It's a common trope, and it's totally an analog for it.
Yep. So I'll remember this was also this was a show that I remember some people threw the accusation of, Crunchyroll tampered with the subtitles to make it more SJW.
Oh, no.
That sort of nonsense again. So I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that was another bunch of BS. Because people.
Yeah, anytime I hear someone talking about SJWs, I usually just okay, yeah, you're probably not right. You're probably just a jerk.
Yeah, it's kind of clear this kind of is supposed to be a love of sorts there. It's a little weird. Although some stuff I heard about the manga kind of makes it a little questionable.
Yeah, that there is the possibility, considering how things go. Like Toru's personality. We haven't actually talked a huge amount about Toru's personality.
Yep.
Sometimes she acts like the overly protective girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
She has a tiny bit of a Yandere-esque thing going on. My biggest worry with their relationship is almost a Stockholm syndrome thing. Toru's going to come in and I'm going to be your girlfriend, basically, and I'm just going to continually beat you over the head with it until you accept it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not a healthy relationship. But it doesn't seem quite to get to that level. Because Toru does start to mellow out a bit.
Yeah, quite a bit.
It is really interesting watching Toru grow as a person.
As a dragon.
And as she adapts to this... as a person.
No!
Person does not mean human.
No! She's not a person. She takes umbrage to that.
Yeah, person does not mean human, though. So I say she grows as a person, as a character. But it is learning to adapt in the human world. It is really interesting to watch her start to, get used to it and come to terms with the world.
Yeah.
This is what, then there's also the baggage that she brings. She obviously has some emotional baggage, as we do see it come come to head a bit with her father showing up.
Yeah.
But they hint at it a lot throughout the
There's
episode.
also the thing where they showed us how the details of Kobayashi and Toru meeting, where it's like Kobayashi wandering out in the forest with a bottle of a Dragon Slayer alcohol.
Yeah,
Finds
that was episode 12.
Yeah, and Kobayashi finding Toru out in the forest with a big old sword in her side, dying.
We see a bit of that in the beginning
Yep.
of the show, but they don't really go into detail until episode
but
12.
I just like that bit. It's just she just kind of drunkenly wanders over, pulls the sword out, sits down, and demands the dragon drink with her. Well, actually, after also asking for a hug from the dragon.
Yep. Because drunk Kobayashi don't give no crap.
And Toru like turns herself into human, sits there drinking with the two of them drinking together, and like getting drunk and talking about their troubles and all the crap. And then Kobayashi, you should come to my place.
Just come to my place.
I think that's one of the biggest indications, and what that and the whole Maid thing is Kobayashi's gay.
Yeah. What's interesting, the Maid thing, I don't think they ever really reference it or talk about it, but one of the things that's on Kobayashi's walls
Oh yeah,
is a whole thing about maids. There's like a few pages up on her wall about...
those are calendars.
Oh, really?
Those are calendars with
I could have
pictures.
sworn there was more about that. There was other ones I saw that looked more like descriptive things, almost like posters.
Yeah, I saw those.
Posters and diagrams about them.
It was like a wide calendar, one of those things, like a single sheet of just you got the picture on top, but it's still like ours, but just not the same portrait style. But yeah, it's definitely
Kobayashi.
because they showed it. It showed it like first episode we see a zoom in of her and the Maid, and that was the other thing was at first when Kobayashi just told her to just leave initially in the first episode, and then feeling guilty.
I'm feeling guilty.
Can you fly? Yeah, you get to work.
Oh crap! I'm late.
Yeah,
I do like in episode 12 how they did the backstory.
yeah.
The whole flashback was basically a dream.
Yep.
Kobayashi fell asleep on the train.
Yep.
And dreamed of the
I
backstory.
like I was dreaming of something important.
Also, there was also the whole bit about the Maid bandit
Oh yeah.
from the other world for the Kobayashi that Toru was a bit inspired by.
Yep.
And the entire discussion of freedom and choice.
Yep.
That was a pretty deep discussion.
You'd be a slave, but I'd choose it.
Yes, and that's a big one.
Yeah,
Being a maid.
The bandit who looks
choice.
weirdly like an adult Rico.
Which, yeah, that was,
Hmm.
Essentially just an older version of Rico.
Weird.
Sakawa.
Weird.
It's like, we need a character, and let's just make it just based off this one we have. It'll be quick.
Yeah, but yeah, this also came out in that weird time period where there's a lot of lesbian stuff popping up in anime. This season beforehand, Flip Flappers, Zeta was airing about the same time. I believe Yuri on Ice was also airing at this time too, around this time, which is not lesbian. That's male, but yeah. I wish they picked a different name because I remember just being kind of annoyed.
On Ice. How is a show called Yuri on Ice not Yuri?
Because it's about a person named Yuri.
Whenever I think about a person named Yuri, I think Red Alert.
I think of Doki
Yuri's
Doki Literature
Revenge.
Club.
Yeah. Knife wife.
But the weird thing was, I remember when this was coming out, like a bunch of the LGBT weebs just lashed onto this one. Not surprising.
Not surprised.
This and Flip Flappers and all this stuff. They just latched onto this. But what was interesting was I was seeing people who were praising this show for what it was. A lot of these people who would normally call out some of its lesser elements were just keeping that quiet. Didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Didn't want to say anything. But I mean, we both follow someone on Twitter who really loves this show.
Yeah.
And they don't really ever talk about the creepy parts. Like, ever.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, it's okay to like this,
Yeah.
I would say. It's perfectly okay. It's a very likable show, but it's one of those, like, you don't ignore the problems.
Yeah.
Just because you like the rest of it. You can like something while acknowledging its problems, and it's important to acknowledge those
Yeah.
problems so that they can be addressed.
That was the thing, was like at the time, I just remember everyone, it's like if it was even brought up at all, it was like, it was kind of dismissive. It was like, it was very passing, just kind of dismissive. Like there's some, yeah. I think what I came from, this is, remember, this is like 3 years ago. I think the mindset was, if we criticize, and this is a very common thing with fandom, if we criticize it, somehow it'll ruin everything and it'll disappear.
Yep.
And they'll stop making this sort of thing, and it'll set back LGBT representation in anime years, decades, or whatever, because we criticized it, and now they're just going to take away the gay stuff because we criticized this one because of something we didn't like.
Yeah,
I think,
which is like, that's not...
yeah, because it does have, it's 90, I would say 90% of it is nice, and like you see these wholesome, cute interactions between Toru, Kobayashi, Kana, like they're like a family.
They are. They totally are.
There's even
family.
the bit in the final the 13th episode where it's like, I want you. It's basically Kobayashi's taking Toru and Kana to meet her parents.
Yep.
Like that's kind of a big deal in any relationship. Like,
I think that's not even a cultural thing. That's just big in all cultures.
Yes, I want you to meet my parents, and that's like the implication there is, there's an implication there.
Yeah. When you take someone to meet your parents,
yeah,
that's usually something that happens when it's a big event.
Mm-hmm.
That is a thing that you do with your significant other.
Yeah.
You introduce them to your parents.
Yeah, so it's like, it's weird. So 90% of it's great, but that 10% is so awful that it's like, it's hard to say yes, go watch it, but it's like, I do kind of want to say, yeah, watch it, but also be aware of the creepy parts.
Yeah, and that's what I would say. It's like, yes, there's enough good here that I think there should be watched, but you have to acknowledge the bad parts as bad parts, and that they shouldn't have happened in here. You can't just, you can't acknowledge and dismiss.
Yep. There's also the weird, the process of like, it's possible because the manga and who made the manga, that it's just simply going to be, it's kind of, the creepy parts are baked in. They're never ever going to go away. Especially, it's what I've heard from the manga. Apparently, if the second season covers some of the stuff I heard about from the manga, it's going to be a bit sketchy. Even if they clean it up a bit, it's still going to be iffy to say.
That's gonna suck because there's so much good to this.
Yeah. So, because particularly there's one character I'm a little worried about. That's apparently supposed to show up, and that it would show up in that time frame. So I'm not sure how they're gonna address it, if at all.
If at all.
So I guess we'll find out at some point in 2021.
We'll find out. There's a couple other interesting points I kind of wanted to bring up. One, back to the whole relationship between... There was another scene back to the relationship between Kobayashi and Toru. They had their quote-unquote fight.
Oh, yeah.
Which really was not a fight. It was more of a competition, a friendly competition. Yeah. But there was a line that was brought up that kind of made Toru pause as well. They've grown close enough to fight.
Yeah.
They've hit a point in their relationship where they feel comfortable enough to actually have that. And it's like, that's not a fight that they had, because actual fights have a very different meaning, and you don't have to be that close.
Yeah.
But the friendly competition, that is a thing when you're close enough to have that kind of a competition, because you're comfortable enough that you can do those kind of things and know it's not going to really damage anything, that you can have that, and it's really just a thing. That was really cool.
Yeah.
There was also the whole thing about Comic-Cat. You mentioned it, but we never really talked about it. That was a whole episode dedicated to Comic-Cat. I think out of all of that, there was one important thing that really happened. One really big, important thing was the whole, where it showed all the other, I'm just going to call them Fae.
Oh, right.
Because they didn't give them a name, but that's a common name for that kind of stuff, the Fae. Because all the different species from the fantasy world.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of them there. And they all show up because conventions are a place where they can be themselves.
In the human world.
Because in the human world, they can just show up as their normal selves, and everyone doesn't freak out because of all all the cosplayers and stuff. They just assume cosplay. They can go and be themselves without worry, and that has some parallels to conventions in real world.
Yeah.
Where we can go and be ourselves without worrying because you know you're going to be accepted. That's a really cool point.
Yeah. Also, yeah, comic market. Yes, it really is that crazy.
Also, the whole talking about there's some force keeping them all in line.
Yeah.
It's like, that must be a really well-managed convention.
Oh, it is. It has to be.
Yeah, because, like, most of the time when you get that many people in a room, it's never that organized. It's just somewhat organized chaos, which I'm assuming Comic-Con probably is.
To a degree, but yeah, it's actually pretty much like they have to, because just it's the size of the area and how many people attend. It just, they have to make sure it goes smoothly.
Although, if you know anything about conventions, any reasonably sized convention is always on fire during its run. It's just a question of whether or not they can keep that fire to the background.
Yeah. Comic-Con, if I recall, tends to be mostly smooth with the occasional hiccup here and there. Sometimes just you get people upset because something sold out. Because that's the Comic-Con is always about, because that's the thing, it's always about selling the comic stuff, and that's also where a lot of indies can get their foot in the door, and also fan dojins are sold there as well, because you're allowed to sell fan works like that. In Japan, I believe the law is you're allowed to sell the fan works as long as you're not actually profiting, so you can sell it for cost of material, basically.
Right.
But yeah, other than that,
And
it's like,
I guess in that, what that does, it gets your name out.
yeah,
If
you're doing fan dojin, if you're doing original stuff as well, because what often so happens is someone they'll have their fan works, and they'll also next to it have their original works. Because all these fan works, like, oh, it's online, but here you can get a physical copy. Oh, I really liked your work. Oh, you have this too. I'll buy that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Bring them
it's
in
a
with
big
the
deal.
fan works, and then give them the originals. Sell them on the original. We also haven't mentioned the Christmas episode.
There's a Christmas episode. It's really just kind of like,
it was like a fan service reference. It wasn't like that kind of fan service, but it was just basically, how many references can we make?
The thing is, I didn't mention because it's so common for me to see Christmas episodes in Slice of Life. It didn't even register the blip.
Oh.
It's like, yeah, it's another Christmas episode.
I'm not at that point, but yeah. I was like, oh boy.
It's just a Christmas episode.
Kana was little loose.
Oh yeah, but yeah,
it was the Sailor Moon reference.
Well, Magical Girl in general.
Yeah, but it was very with the outfit and the wand, the heart wand,
folklore, and of course, Little Match Girl, which is
Let's do Little Match Girl.
Why does this? Yes, remind old people of death.
Yep. Well, they took in a completely different direction, and the old people loved it, so everything worked out in the end.
Yeah, there was a thing. Yeah, it's largely a one I like, but boy, those issues make it really, you just sometimes, it's like, oh, this is so nice, then bam, slaps you in the face with creep. Yep. It's like, oh.
Yep, it was like, oh, this was really, oh, great, here comes Lukoa.
Yep.
Here we go again.
And it's weird, too, because initially she seemed to be started off as just kind of the general advice giver, and then, oh, hey, she meets Shota, and, well, that goes to crap real quick.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Wish they could have just left it like that in the beginning. Like, yeah, she's got a large chest.
Okay.
Whatever.
But, yeah, I guess that's more or less what we can say about Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid without dragging it out too long.
Mm-hmm.
Dragging it out too long.
Dragging out.
Yeah, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed this one. I don't know if you'll enjoy Miss Kobayashi or not, but I don't know. Maybe you can let us know. I'll tell you how to do that in a little bit. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, you can check out other episodes. You can go to newtoweeaboo.libsyn.com and check out all the stuff there. There's the episodes are listed there. There's an RSS feed and everything. You got at the top there's buttons with including a bunch of destinations to go to. Yeah, so you can check it there. Yeah, there, RSS feed. There's also Apple Podcasts, Google Play for a little bit while longer, Google Podcasts is a new thing. Stitcher and YouTube. You can search for New to Weeaboo on any of those and subscribe, or on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Oh, and apparently we are now on Amazon Podcasts. That is now a thing. It is officially launched.
Hey.
And we're on it. So yeah, you can check us on Amazon, I guess, and search for our podcast there and subscribe via that way if you'd like.
Yep.
If you want to get in touch with us, you can do so via email, newtoweeaboo@gmail.com. If you have questions, comments, criticisms, what do you think of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid at all? Was it too much for you? Or was it, you're just okay with it? You were just kind of eye-rolling and just kind of, okay, let's get on with it. I don't know. Or you just kind of find it sappy and dumb. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not you.
I'm not you.
You can also give us recommendations for other anime.
Yep.
We might check them out at some point. Or may already have it on my list. You never know.
You never know. We do have a little bit of a list.
Yes. You can also follow us on Twitter @NewToWeeaboo if you'd like to follow us there, retweet, like, all that stuff. We'll be tweeting out episodes that come out and whatnot. And there's also our personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1 and he's at Alcatraz with a 77T and an underscore at the end if you want to see those.
Yep. See me retweet stuff.
Yep. And I tend to tweet out my reviews of Transformers and whatnot.
You did a whole bunch of them in one short.
Oh, yeah. That's because they're all interrelated and they want to delay them. It's all coming out once. But anyway, that's it for this one. Join us next time. It'll be October in that point, and we'll be talking about Lily Cat, or Lily C-A-T. Apparently it's a horror movie in the 80s that neither of us have watched. I have no idea, but we're going to watch it because October.
October, it's spoopy.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
We shall.
Hope you guys take care, and we'll see you next time. So goodbye.
Bye.